So today we're gonna actually talk about this bad boy over here. This is the TTArtisans 40mm F2.0. This is the L mount version. So yeah, let's get into it. Hold on. So I have to say that TTArtisans, they were super kind that they sent me this lens to try out. So yes, there might be some bias, right? But I got it, I tried it, and now I'm gonna talk about my experience using the lens. So you, my dearest friend, you would do with what I have to say as you will. Now, let's actually dive in. So yeah, let's talk about the basic stuff first and just get them out of the way. So first things first, I'm gonna talk about the size. This lens is really, really small. And it's like one of those things that actually made it interesting, because the moment I saw it, I almost right away thought about the S9 and how it could really pair up with the S9. But let me just put it into some perspective, right? So this is the TTArtisans 40mm, right? And this is the kit lens that came with my S9. This is the 18-40 kit lens. And I think they're like the same size. I do believe literally without the lens hood of the 40, they can be the same size. And this is not extended, by the way, because you know how it is, it extends, and now it's 18 actually. So anyways, unextended, it literally has the same length of the 40mm. So it's super small and it's super light, like really, really light. And when you pair it with the S9, it's like the perfect combination. I want to show you guys, but I'm currently shooting this video on the S9. But all in all, it's super small and super practical. Now for the build quality. So honestly, it is kind of plasticky, of course, but it is weather sealed. And then you can see it got the metal mount over here. It also comes with this cap where you can actually hook it up with USB-C over here to update the firmware of the lens. Now, even though it's said to be weather sealed, but if I'm gonna use it with the S9, if I'm gonna use this lens anyways, I'm not gonna use it if it's heavily raining outside. I tend to take care of my gear, and like if it's just a little bit of rain, it's okay, but if it's heavily raining, it's like going down crazy, just, you know, don't use it. But it comes with a manual focus ring over here, and then an aperture ring, which is really, really impressive, because some other lenses, they wouldn't have that, especially in that category. So you can control the aperture manually or leave it on A if you want to do that. And it comes with 52mm filter thread, which is kind of small, but is expected. And I actually, just because I have a lot of lenses, even vintage lenses with that diameter, so I actually bought filters to use them with those lenses. So it came up pretty handy, the 52mm. It doesn't scream cheap, but it is plastic, and that's not a bad thing, at least to the uses I have in mind for this lens. Because it's plastic, it means that it's light in weight, which is awesome. But it have the build quality that you would expect from a lens that could be your EDC type lens, especially when it's paired with the S9. The S9 on its own is a light camera, and I almost like used it a lot with the S9, and I used it with the S1 too, and I'll talk about that later. But pairing this lens with the S9, given that it's a lightweight lens and the S9 is light as well, it was like literally the perfect combination. I shot the whole day with this setup, and I actually did not feel that I need to just, you know, take a rest or anything, because the whole setup was super, super light. All right, now let's talk business. Let's talk about the image quality. So I used the 40mm f2 on a project, right? And in case you watched the project before, feel free to actually skip and move forward to the next segment. But if not, I'll play the project. I'm not gonna talk about the image quality. I'll let what I shot actually speak for me, and we'll continue after the video.
It was like a dream. When you're in it, it lasts forever, and when it's done, it just feels like a distant memory. Everyone there is in search of a purpose. They find it within themselves or something around them. Sometimes, in the happiest of moments, you feel a wave of sadness, and in the saddest of moments, you feel the most hopeful. There's forgiveness. That could take a lifetime, but regret can last one. Nothing there really lasts forever. I felt it. I felt everything from joy to pain to grief to love. You can choose to feel it all or nothing at all. There's so much beauty on earth and so much more in the existence of humanity. And death is a part of being alive. And to live is to know that there's going to be an end. I want to go back sometimes and do it all again.
Now, I love the quality coming out from the lens, and I love the quirkiness that I found. And I feel that it's kind of up to you to determine whether these things that I'm gonna talk about are appealing to you or not. And let me explain. To me, at least, this lens showed what it's capable of doing at f2. And what I'm about to say could be really used, in both directions. So at f2, you're gonna start to find some vignetting. At f2, the whole image will soften a little bit. And this could be interpreted as a bad thing or a good thing. So I feel that it's truly up to you to tell me. It's up to you to make a decision about it and let me know. It differs from whatever use you have in mind for this lens, right? I, for one, look for character. I'm super, bored, and I'm super tired from all the clinical lenses. And I know that you must have heard this everywhere, but I'm super tired from all the clinical lenses that we have, right? And I'm in search for something different. And even though this in another time could be in a way categorized as like a flaw, and it might be a flaw, but it is a character nonetheless, right? So at f2, it shows all the quirkiness that you could find in any lens. It softens pretty much, like there's a significant difference between f2 and f4 or f4.5 or f5.6, I'm sorry, for example. And I'm gonna leave you some examples here to check out as well. Okay, now quick voiceover. Let me show you the different looks of the lens when used with different apertures, right? So I shot one photo with the aperture 2.0 over here and another f4.0 and then another f5.0. I've maintained the same ISO through the different pictures just to maintain the level of noise and the overall quality. So we shot the favorite brick wall over here. Now this is at aperture f2.0, all right? The ISO is 200. As you can see in the center, it is decent, right? Nothing crazy, but you're gonna see the difference when we go to the edges. Without even zooming in, like you can see, it's already soft, at least softer than the center, right? And without even zooming in, you can see the vignette happening on the edges over here, in addition to distortion as well. So we're seeing everything right now, all the, in a way, predictable artifacts from a lens wide open at that price range, which is really, really understandable. So you get decent quality or decent sharpness in the center of the photo of the frame, and then it softens a little bit throughout the edges. Now this is at F2.0, right? If we went to the F4.0 version of that same photo, it sharpens even more in the center. Like, there is a difference. Let me show you. So this is the F2.0, F4, F2.0, F4. There might be a little bit of change in exposure, but like, just, you know, you get the point. This one is sharper even in the center, but it'll surprise you around the edges as well. So it holds its own around the edges compared to the F2, so it's not that bad. It's still sharp enough compared to the center, and the vignette got better. So let me show you. For example, this is the F2.0. Let's go to the edges, right? Let's go to the edges and then go to the F4. Let's go to the edges and do quick comparison. So this is the F4, this is the F2. As you can see, softer and more vignette. This one is sharper and less vignette. So that the lens drastically fixes itself, or like fixes all the artifacts when you close down. And then if we go to the last one, the F5 gets even better. As you can see, sharp in the center and sharper in the edges compared to the F4 even, and the F2.0 of course, less vignette, and the distortion is really handled in the F4 and the F5.0 compared to the F2. So yeah, here it is. And now let me show you guys the autofocus on this lens. All right, right now it's on full area and human detection is turned on. So let's check it out. I think from the screen I can tell that it's tracking me. Well, also it's on F2, pretty open. And I went to the edges and I can see the box literally on my eye right now. Okay, let's go down. Right. Whoop. Did not change the focus setting at all. It's just the default, I think. That was pretty good. Can't really tell if there's any unresponsiveness to it. Even to the edges, the box is literally on my face. Super impressive. I was not expecting that. Especially the edges part, I was not expecting that. Yep. And as I said before, I truly love shooting with vintage lenses, just like these two bad boys over here, for example. And the reason that I do that is I'm always looking for interesting characteristics coming out from lenses. So this lens being a little bit, you know, funky, wide open at F2, that was always interesting to me. I shot this project that you've just watched mostly on F2, and I truly love the soft image. I put mist filter on almost all my lenses, so that was super nice to have that look in a way in the lens at F2. A little bit of vignette, the aberration, and the distortion around the edges. The whole thing was super nice, honestly, and I truly appreciated the look that I got from it. It complemented the story in a way, diving into that dreamy state that we were creating. So I did not see it as a negative or bad thing, if I'm being honest. So yeah, truly, that will be totally on you to decide whether these things will actually be beneficial to your workflow or not. And honestly, I feel that I gotta give it to them, because I feel that, you know, after this lens was out and it got really popular, it encouraged a lot of companies to actually come up with like small form factor lenses. But with the price, even with the price tag of that lens, it is super enticing. So for example, like when I first got the S9, I got the Sigma 45mm, this one, f2.8, and I love it. I truly love it, and I'm not going to compare right now, and it has its pros and cons like any other lens, right? But the price tag on this one, 45mm f2.8, not even f2, and it's 45 close to 50. I truly dig the 40mm. It's not like 35 and it's not a 50, something in the middle, and I don't know, something about it. It's just, it could really work as an everyday lens that you wouldn't really complain whether it's too tight, too wide. It's truly in the middle, regardless. So if we're gonna talk about price to performance, with everything that this lens offers, from the aperture ring, the quality it offers, the characteristics that I see as a positive thing, to the price, I feel that it's pretty much worth it, honestly, considered that it is small, and if you have an S9, it can really work as an EDC camera, which is awesome. And yeah, no complaints whatsoever when it comes to the price to performance. Who's it for? Honestly, I don't like to say like who's it for. I feel that, you know, with everything that I said about this lens and the examples that I showed, if you resonated with that, then you might feel that, you know, it might be interesting to you, then you should go for it. But if you want a small form factor lens, if you have an S9 and you're looking for something really small, because I know all, like the 2460, all the other lenses that Lumix has, really they don't go with the S9, unfortunately. Apart from the newly released 40mm that I just got, I haven't tried it out, honestly. But if you're looking for a small form factor lens, really affordable, right? And it's f2, so it's considered fast, right? It can really work well in low light situations. I truly recommend this because the way I see it, you can get two different looks from one lens. So I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? You can get all the characters when it's wide open, and when you don't need all of that funk, right? And it's not crazy, honestly. It's kind of moderate in a way. Then you can step down a little bit and then, you know, get a sharper image if you want. So yeah, guys, that's it about the TTArtisans 40mm f2. If you have any question about the lens, if you want me to try something that I haven't already, whatever that is, just let me know in the comments below. I'll be happy to answer you all. And of course, if you're interested in picking up the lens, you'll find a link in the description below, and it's an affiliated link. And for you guys who don't know what an affiliated link is, it means that you get to buy the lens with the original price, right? No price increase, and I get to get a small percentage out of that. That's all. And yeah, I appreciate you all. Thank you for watching. And again, if you have any questions, just let me know. And until then, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.